Thank you very much indeed, Osnat. I'm sorry you're giving me such a short time slot because I'm full of everything that's happening here in Geneva, but I do understand. So it's my very great pleasure to welcome everybody here today. As I said, I'm in Geneva for the first working session of the Intergovernmental Working Group on Aging, which is finally going to start drafting a convention for the rights of older people. And just want to mention that at the morning session this morning, I talked about Margaret Young, who's done a fantastic job in this direction. But for all of you, just very quickly, the Pass It On Network is an extraordinary network that we started, Jan Hively and myself, in 2013, and both the network and things around us have changed. We operate as you've seen with our 50/50 webinars once a month. We have a newsletter, and we are growing, and we have local networks, including a very active network in Africa, which has come up with some very interesting initiatives in the musical field to pass on our story through music. And that's a very good thing indeed. We're very proud to say that we have got Pass It On people whom we call pioneers, because that's what we are all doing. We're busy pioneering the future in 65 countries around the world. And without further ado, I'm going to hand back to Osnat, who's got a very exciting program for us tonight.
You're welcome, Moira. It's good to be here. It's good to see so many people coming here today. Thank you very much. Last month, we had a session that we dedicated to introducing pioneers, introducing themselves. Each one got 3 minutes spotlight, and it was so well received that we decided from going on, we're going to ask 2 pioneers in each session to give us their 3 minutes. And today I'm inviting Stacy Shuey and Rick Moody for their 3 minutes spotlight. And let me just find Stacy. So Stacy, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Stacy Shuey, and I'm joining you from Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm the CEO and co-founder of Hands for Life. And we're a Christian nonprofit currently serving the elders through educating the younger generation on the circle of life. We envision a world where generations can care for each other during every season of life. And our impact right now is in Kenya and Nigeria. And it's involved from meeting immediate needs like food, education, Medicare, medical care, and bringing mission teams. It has grown to now where we're establishing a firm foundation, and we're ready to move on to not just meeting needs. We are called to help communities become self-sustaining. So we don't want to just give a fish, we want to teach them how to fish. We're developing an intergenerational educational campus, starting with a learning and innovation center in Kenya. And this is a collaborative space where everyone from every generation can come together to interact, learn, and grow. From children to community leaders, caregivers, to our elders, they all play an integral part in this ecosystem. The campus integrates Montessori education, workforce training, sustainable agriculture, and healthcare education. And it's all centered around a demonstration farm that feeds families and teaches vital skills. I joined Pass It On Network because there's so much experience in this group, and I'm looking forward to learning from everyone, building relationships, and finding ways that we can connect, collaborate, and help each other. And please, if I can support anyone in their work, in their mission, I'd be happy to help. So thank you for having me, and I'm excited to get to know everybody in the community.
Thank you, Stacy. So happy to have you with us. And maybe you can put your email address or any way people can contact you in the chat, that would be make it just easier. I'm going to pass it on now to Rick Moody, another longtime pioneer. Rick, tell us.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted now. First, I want to say how much I appreciate what Stacy just said. I spent yesterday at an intergenerational conference, and I do a lot of work on mentoring and things like that, particularly around climate change. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about dreams. And I'm not talking about your hopes for the future. I'm talking about the things that happen at night when you're in the dark. And people may hear about dreams and say, well, who needs dreams? My answer is, well, who needs calcium? You need it for your bones, and you need dreams for your life. And I have a book that's coming out shortly called The Power of Dreams in Later Life. Not everybody appreciates the power of dreams. Some people regard it as just ridiculous. I was had dinner not long ago with a friend of mine who he was an assistant secretary of state for the United States previously. His wife was there, and she said, "Well, what are you up to, Rick?" And I said, "Well, I'm kind of interested in dreams." And when I started talking about that, it was as if I was said, "Oh, by the way, I've just joined Al Qaeda, and I want to blow up some buildings soon." Dreams are regarded as something that's frivolous or useless or unnecessary. That's not true. And I haven't got time to go into all the examples of this, but I'll just give one example that was sent to me literally 2 days ago. I won't tell you her name. She's a woman in her mid 70s, like me, part of Fridays for Future, which is a climate advocacy group. And she said she had this dream and she didn't quite understand it. I won't tell you the details of the dream. Basically, somebody was telling her she was confronting a woman who was in charge of water issues. And she kept saying, well, what about the water? When are we going to get our water? And the woman never answered and wouldn't even look at her. And the dreamer kept saying, wait a minute, I kept telling you we need the water. So my friend, the woman, I meet with her quite regularly at Fridays for Future, which is an international group set up by Greta Thunberg. Some of you may know her work. She asked me, what is the meaning of this dream? I don't like to give interpretations of dreams because the dream belongs to the dreamer. But I said, this is a dream about planet Earth. And water is the water of life, which is a very important phrase, by the way, in Farsi. Alba Zendegi, it's called. Farsi is one of my languages. Rumi is one of my great appreciations. Anyway, I said, this is about environment. This is about our planet. And you're demanding help and direction. And well, that's what dreams can be. And I sometimes tell people dreams are a little bit like an internal GPS system. It's in our head. Every night it tells us something. It doesn't tell us where to go. Our GPS doesn't do that in our car either. We have to decide where to go. But dreams can give us insight into where we are and who we are. And that's why dreams are so powerful for the second half of life. That's what led me into this work. That's what made me into a dream worker, not necessarily to interpret other people's dreams, but to get better at understanding my own. It's a mirror in which I can see myself. It's a GPS in which I can understand where I might be able to go. That's what I want to say and introduce myself. I'll put in the chat some directions about newsletters that I do. Human Values and Aging goes to about 5,000 people every month. I've been doing this for 25 years. Now I'm an elder myself. I'm just turned 81, and I'm more committed than ever to doing the things that I need to do for the next generation. That's why what Stacy said is so, so important. And I thank you. I thank you for inviting me, everybody here today, but Marie especially, and Osnat, because I've worked with you before and I will continue to work with you as a pioneer. I'm one of the pioneers. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. And what a pioneer you are. And thank you, Stacy. Just heard some powerful words. And it's easy to have individual pioneers introduce themselves, but how would these pioneers and others, and anybody here around the camera, the proverbial fire, how would you introduce Baston Network? And today we're going to look a little bit closer into this question. And we are going to come up with some stuff. We're not going to write any promotional copy. We're not going to write any elevator speech. We're going together to notice what we consistently recognize is something true about the Baston Network. We're going to come up with some raw, basic observations, nothing polished, nothing finished, not slogans, not platitudes, I don't know, whatever it is. And perhaps maybe this is all we need for each and every one of us to see clearly of what Baston Network is. So I asked you before to have pen and paper, and I also said it's going to feel a little bit like a workshop-ish, but we needed to generate some of this raw material. So we're going to do a little exercise, a silent exercise to help us start thinking in that direction. And I'm going to offer you 4 prompts, and the prompts are unfinished sentences. So your job will be to finish those sentences. Each one of them, you'll have 2 minutes to complete. I'm going to put them both in chat, and I also place them on the screen as a slide. And if English is not your first language, write it in any language that you're comfortable with. It's for you. You're not going to be asked to share it with anybody else. It's just for you. The first prompt is something I've asked you before, is what brought me here today was what brought me here today was. Take 2 minutes and write as many answers or many completions as you want. And here's the next one. The next one is, when someone asks me, what is Pion? They want or they mean to what? When someone asks me, what is Pion? They want to And the next prompt is, now that makes me curious about the last one. The last one, it's your choice. You can write a metaphor or draw a little doodle or do something else. But for me, Pion is like and we can wrap it up here. Take a look at at your page, what you wrote, and maybe it's a good time to circle anything that feels important to you, any word or any phrase. Maybe you see a pattern there of things that you said over and over again. We're not going to speak about it right now. This is just something you carry with you because we're going to go into 15-minute breakout room. Please ignore anything that Zoom suggests to you to leave the room or whatever. It's all going to happen automatically. And yes, indeed. You'll be with 3 other people, and you'll discuss one question. First, I'm going to put this question in the chat so you can see what it is. This is our core inquiry today. It's what makes Pacitor Network feel like Pacitor Network? Which parts of it are so important that without them, it wouldn't be the same network. It wouldn't be Pion. So we're looking for some fingerprints here that are indelible, durable. And after you come back from the breakout room, one of you will tell the room here 3 things that answer that question. And these are concepts. You don't need to report what everybody said. Actually, you need to come to some kind of an agreement that there are some 3 really important things that make Pacitor Network what it is. And without it, it wouldn't be Pacitor Network. So 3 ideas, discover them. And it doesn't need to be polished sentence. It doesn't need to be something that is ready to put on the side of a bus. It just needs to be an idea that describes Pacitor Network, what makes it what it is. So where are we? Let's so you went into the breakout rooms and came back with the 3 succinct ideas that we can say that what makes Pion feels like Pion and not like any other network. Without these 3 things, we won't be us. And I am opening. Kathy, are you okay? Yeah, okay. Kathy volunteered happily to help me write down these things. So when you say those things, just make them really concise. So I'm looking forward to one hand from each room to say what those things are that you came up with. Richard.
Well, we had a very wide-ranging and productive discussion, but I boil it down to 3 words, which is connecting, learning, and contributing.
Thank you, Richard. And Josephine?
Yes, we had a good group, and similar to Richard, it's what makes Pion feel like Pion. It's a collaborative international group, learning, contributions of ideas, passions, successes, building connections, and how other nations and states handle the senior tsunami.
Thank you, Josephine.
You're welcome.
Passing it on to Luann, and after that, Adele.
It's the diversity of experience and perspective. It's worldwide. It blows us away that we get these ideas from all these countries across the world. So diversity of experience and perspective, it's motivating. You leave here thinking, yes, I need to do more. I want to learn more. I want to hook up with that person who just said that. And it is applicable to my life and my meetings. The humanity, the honesty, and inspiration that you get from each meeting. Many other things, but I'll just stay with those 3 because I know it'll be a full list by the time we get to the end here.
Indeed. Adele, what happened in your room? What the result?
Well, much like Luann's group, our group was quite engaged by the global diversity of the membership and the work is being done and the experience that people have. I think a second our idea of ours was the aim of the group to unite people. We are all one big group here. We have similar experiences. And our third one, what keeps Pion going, what makes people come back? Osnat, it's you and Moira. I mean, I don't think we can take anything away from that. Without you and Moira, Pion wouldn't be Pion.
Well, Thank you, Adele. I just want to say that this is a huge responsibility, and I'd like to share it with others. So you're welcome. And Stacy, what happened in your neighborhood there?
Our group came up with the openness of the network to diverse people. And we like to see what others are doing, and also connection to help one another create real impact.
Thank you. Mary Jo Shifke and I had our own little group. And Mary Jo, do you want to say a couple of things?
Actually, I do. And here's another one other than what we talked about earlier. Has not really tried to confirm with me that we're a network and not an organization, which was a good thing for me to be reminded of a couple times. But what I'm aware of is that I belong to this network. I come to this network because it's for me. And most of the professional development things that I've done in my life are for other people. This is just for me and for me to learn how to move forward in the world, which is really quite a gift. Thanks, Asnat, for letting me talk.
Yeah, thanks, Mary Jo. This is such a turn here because we're all such giving people, and it's really an opportunity to acknowledge that what we get too. And the other thing that came up with Mary Jo and I was that we have a fluidity of learning and connection across borders. Richard.
We were in a team of 3 years allotted, and we were with Caro and Dieta and myself. It's pretty much what everybody has said, but to sum it up in 3 words, we thought the platform is motivational. It attracts all age groups, intergenerational, we can say. For example, in our team, Caro, aged 91 years old, she had a very good experience. And the second thing is it's a learning platform, especially on best practices. And Caro shared with us her recent visit to Chicago, a place she called Institute of Cultural Affairs in Chicago, and what she learned there, which she's eager to also learn with others. So bringing that to the Pion platform, we thought it's a learning platform as well. And thirdly, and I'm happy that someone mentioned this before me, because at some stage I thought it was going to miss out entirely. We thought that the team behind Pion cannot be left out in this. Moira and you, Osnat, and everybody else who come every month. That team keeps the drive going. So those were our 3 points.
Thank you, Richard. Wow, it looks like we actually will need to use the entire 90 minutes to get somewhere. I don't know. Let's take before I go there, Jeff, you wanted to say add anything to the list?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off Mary Jo and go back to what our friend from Canada had to say about, she comes because of you and Moira, and I take nothing away from you and Moira, but I think people come because of the people on this call. Every one of the people on this call is extraordinary in their own way. We're fellow thought leaders. We're passionate about what we do. And I don't think I've ever been on a call in all the years that I've been here that there's somebody that's been on the call where I'd say, oh man, what is this person on the call for? They don't fit. You all fit. And so what draws me back, certainly the credit, and all credit is due to Moira and Jan Hively and Osnat's work. but it's the rest of you on the call that is what brings me coming back. I feel like I'm coming home when I come to these meetings. So anyway, that's my thought.
Coming home, absolutely.
That's
Do you
good.
know, how does somebody who hasn't been here before, and when they come to you and say, hey, what's this place that you call home? What's this place is for you? Is how do you explain this to them? And again, we might not get today to anything other than fragments of stuff that we can maybe use later as we form such an answer to somebody like this. Just show of hands, who is here today for the first time? I see at least 2 hands, and welcome. I know Gail heard about Pastor Network for me, so whatever I told her made her come here. I don't know about John. You're mute.
Okay. Yeah, this is my first time. I was explaining in the room how I came upon you. I came upon you from a student who was doing some research on older people and digitization. He was a student in Trinity College, and I was one of his interviewees, as it were, to do it. And after we were talking, he tells me about this network, Peon Network. Never heard of it before, didn't know it existed. And I've been waiting all my life for this network. The reason is that as a demographic, we are getting larger and larger and larger. But ever since COVID, etc., the discourse around us has been very negative. So in the EU, for example, here, there'll be 65 million people over the age of 65 by around 2045. That's the entire population of France or the entire population of Britain. And so we need to get together. There's two words that I have: contributing and participating. That we can contribute to society, we contribute to business, we can contribute to government, and we are participating. And this network is an example of participating as such. Sorry.
So glad you're here, because everything you say, we all say. And whatever got you here, and I imagine it was our friend Isaac, who comes here occasionally, who told you about that, because he was doing that kind of work in Trinity. But I'd like to take it to the next part, and I will share on the screen what you just said. And if I can only find where this is, there we go. I invite you to take a look at that list. I'm toying between sending you back to breakout rooms to tease out 5 items on that list that will continue to answer that question. Is something that will tell us what is special about Pion. And we'll take 4 minutes, so scan quickly through that list and put in chat, maybe not 5, maybe 3 items that you think should stay on the final list.
How about creating a word cloud?
Yeah, well, it's easy, but I don't have it set up right now like this.
Okay.
And a word cloud will do the work for you. And do we really want to do the work for us? Nothing without us, nothing about us without us. Let's stick to that. Let's make our own choices. So let's go. Now it's 4 minutes. And choose 3 items that you think should stay forever for the next 6 months on that list. I invite you to look at the chat and kind of take a gallery tour and see what's there. There are a lot of common things that people said. I looked quickly and I got a global learning. There was a lot of global, sometimes was used as international. Global learning, global connections, diversity of perspectives, inspirational and like-minded. Which is interesting when we have diversity of perspective of like-minded people. There might be some other ones. These are the ones that I saw repeating a lot. And I'm wondering if there are any others. So not in a promotional speech and no elevator speech, but what other things there that you saw on the list that did not make it into global learning, global connection, diversity of perspectives, inspirational and like-minded? What are other things that should have been there that I missed? And you can put it in chat or raise your hand. Valerie, briefly.
Most of the things that people have said are generic, as it were. We are all similar in lots of ways. Learn with Grandma has very similar aims to Peon. There are other organizations that have the same sort of aims. I was trying to think of something that made Peon more individual. And wonderful as you and Moira both are, and indeed friends for many years, you're also a bit like me in that you are running the show. Learn with Grandma, I have decided to change quite dramatically, and this will all come out very shortly. Learn with Grandma is too much me. I am now 85. I will die. I will not be here to go on living, to continue to do the things that I've been doing for over 20 years. I think we need a stronger handle, but I don't quite know what handle to suggest.
Well, thank you, Valerie. It's definitely, I mean, we heard that sentiment, and I don't know about running the show, but we definitely heard the sentiment that the people who sent the link, the people who sent the Gazette are the same people. And again, it's an open invitation for anybody else who wants to do this, but it's a network. So it's not about producing anything, it's about connecting. And I'm
just like
mindful. Yes. We could go into a larger conversation about some of these attributes that we said, okay, the global learning, the global connection, diversity of perspectives, inspiration, like-minded, and we could also collect some examples. And maybe you can put those examples in the chat, or we can go over some of these examples in the last 15 minutes of the session today. I want to just share a few words about what happened here today. And we weren't trying to find a perfect description of Basseton Network. It was about discovering whether some of the ideas that we have are consistent. And we just saw that, yes, many of us value certain things in a very consistent way across the board, mainly connection and learning and sharing. And if it's helpful for you to use this when you explain what Pacitor Network is to others, why not? We're just starting to see those patterns. Some are already quite clear, maybe some others, as you see that list that I'm going to distribute, maybe they will become clear and you can add others to them. I invite you to, as you speak with people in the next week, 2 months, as you explain what Pacitor Network to other people, just listen to yourself and note, what is it that you're saying? How is it that you're explaining it? Maybe the questions of people to you will reveal something that you haven't seen until now. What words come naturally to you? And yeah, thank you for helping us build something that sounds like us rather than something that is written for us. And that's kind of the thing about word cloud is nice, but it's not written by us. What we said here and what we chose is about us and by us. We got today to know 2 more pioneers, Stacy and Rick, and we help others, all of us, to get to know Pacitor Network a little bit better. And when somebody else asks us, what is Pion? We may have a better idea of what it is. And I'm going to gather all these bits in the letter that I'll send you after today's call. And you'll get it in a couple of days. And again, what we learned today, just use it, tell it. And let me know if anything else needs to be introduced into the list that we already have. It will never become a formal list of things that you can hand over to somebody. It will be something that you can choose from and add your own experience and your own passion and your own diversity of perspectives. I want to, because we are on time, I want to bring this session to a formal conclusion. And it is, first of all, thank you to all of you who are here. If you need to leave, why not? But stay here for another 15 minutes so we can say all the things that didn't get said. What else? Yes, the most important thing. Next month, which is the 10th of August, we are going to host pioneer Rains Cohen, who had to leave a little early. He's not here now. Rains, many of you know him. He's going to speak about the co-housing movement, senior co-housing, other intergenerational co-housing, co-housing neighborhoods, eco-villages, and international communities. It's a fascinating topic. It's very relevant to us because not all of us know where we're going to live when we get older. And it's good to know what's out there, why it is there, and maybe there's some areas that you haven't heard about before. I certainly haven't until I spoke with Rains. And so this is going to be the 10th of August. An invitation will be in your mail in about 2 weeks, something like that. And now we are formally closed. And I'm going to leave it open for another 10, 12 minutes for anybody who wants to stay, anybody who wants to say something that didn't get said, and let's go. And Jeff, over to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to share something. There are 2 people who were on the call today. One was the first time, I don't know if he's still here, Ron Roll, who I had told about Pacitor Network. He wasn't aware of it, and he chose to come today. And so whatever I said apparently made a difference. The other person who was on the call, who is not now, a fellow by the name Bob Epstein, and I I wasn't able to email Bob, but I haven't seen Bob in 25 years. And Bob was on my advisory council when I worked for the National Council on Aging and introduced benefits checkup many years ago. And so it would have been interesting to get perspectives from both of those guys, because to see someone who was engaged in this 25 years ago and now is on this call. I don't know if Bob has been on any of these calls before, and I'd love to get his email address so I can get in touch with him. But I just think it's interesting that we have that kind of a breadth on the call.
Thank you, Jeff.
I want to add one other thing, thread that came out of our little discussion, didn't make it into the 3 top topics. And I think it was Rains who said this, or it was one of the members of our group. Part of the glue that holds us together is that we all are united by a commitment to work to better the lives of older adults and society in general, but particularly we are ourselves mostly older adults, but we are committed to working together. And I think it's this, somebody said it was a larger cause that keeps us connected. And I think that's actually important.
Indeed, Richard. Indeed, but you know, I'm just thinking about it. There's so many other bodies, organizations and networks who are also united around that. We see them now in Geneva. Moira is in Geneva. All of these civil society people showed up there, and they're all united. And the question that I think we're grappling with is what makes people gravitate to Pacitan Network more than other ones.
Well, I think you're the one who is making the point that we are a network, not an organization, and that we're open in a very interesting way, so that that word diversity keeps coming up. We do all kinds of different things individually, you know, some governmental, some local, some national, but you know, we all share that passion.
May I say something?
Sure.
Just building on what Richard just said and on what Rains is doing, what I'd like, what comes to me is the pioneering aspect that we are playing and that we just don't perhaps realize the full weight of it. With the demographic change, and I don't need to go into that because we're all totally familiar with that, but we are literally in a whole new phase of life that has never existed before, and there are no leaders to show us. So we are pioneering that way, and Rains' subject for the next month is going to be exactly that. I mean, he's going to be talking about so many different types of proposed solutions to where we're going to live. But that's not only in that field, it's in all the fields, and we are busy pioneering that. We pioneering the future, and I think that's a very strong argument for intergenerational collaboration. We really are pioneering a new future.
Thank you, Moira.
Osnat, I've got to go for 2 reasons. One is that my battery's running out, and there is one thing I would like to say very quickly. By the way, we're very much in the same mindset of what we're doing. Learn with Grandma is also a network, not an organization. I often ask you if you could please put the chat in when you send the information out, and I very rarely get it. I have put something in the chat, and I would like my email is in the chat, and I would like people to know that they can contact me. We are working on we're working on the same hymn sheet here, and we should be joining together more. I must go. My battery literally is running out now. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Valerie.
I'm glad to be still alive and well at the great age of 85.
You've got another 15 years, Val.
Verna.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say that I was part of a national group that was very similar to Pion, and it was taken over by a money-making group who promptly killed it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't understand the value of a network. They couldn't see this group producing and and making money. And so they killed it. And I can't tell you the grief, the mourning that's been gone over the last year or two. And people are trying to revive it. And I keep saying, well, if you go to Pion, it's international too. So I'm trying to encourage to come over here. But I just wanted to say, when you're gone, it's a terrible loss. It really, really is. So we need to keep going strong.
Good. Good.
Yeah, so interesting, Verna, that lifespan can sometimes slap you in the face in many ways, not only as humans, but also as networks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Yes, Ron.
Hi, I'm the aforementioned Ron Roel that Jeff mentioned. And I'm on still. So, and I apologize. I came on late because my email system is doing tricks on me and I couldn't find the link. But anyway, I'm glad to have joined, and I've been involved I have a podcast called 45 Forward, which is about, how do we live successfully from midlife on, despite any challenges, whether we meet them. And I'm very involved in caregiving, and met Jeff, I think it was a Grey Panthers webinar a little while ago. Anyway, I'm just fascinated. I'm a member of a lot of different groups. What I find most inspiring and interesting about this group is the diversity, but it opens me up to the world. And even though I'm in New York, which is supposed to be a diverse area and diverse people and ideas, I find that we're increasingly parochial, and this is the exact opposite direction we need to go. We need to open up to new ideas and people, and that's what makes life interesting. Is that and things you wouldn't think of. You just would not think of these things because you're in a certain area, and that's I'm actually on Long Island, which is an island literally, and so I just find it a really different opportunity. I'm involved in lots of networking groups, and I'm finding them increasingly the same, and they're about generating referrals between each other. And it's like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for new ideas. And I'm about 75, and I feel like I'm just still learning a lot and want to keep going.
That's so important. Thank you, Ron, and welcome. Hope to see you, and hope this is the window out to the world that you're looking for.
Elsa, can I say something before you go?
Sure.
I said earlier on, in our area here, we developed what they call the U3A, a University of Third Age. Now, I don't know if this is appropriate for this or not, but one of the programs we're going to start running in September or October is a course we developed called Self-Directed Ageism. Self-Directed Ageism. Now, I could put up, I'd love to get a lot more diverse views and perspectives on this, as it were, okay? So we have something developed and ready to go, as it were. But if anyone's interested in it, if I pull up my email here.
Absolutely. John, whatever you have about this, if you put it in chat, the chat is being circulated as part of the letter, so it will be there.
Okay, it's there, and the website is U3AKNOCK.
And we are here
So,
very familiar with U3A because of its origin. And U3A is also very active in the African continent.
Yeah,
and in
it's
many other
it's
places.
an international. It's international. It's very active in Europe. In certain, it was developed from in France, but and in Australia as well. One of the things about intergenerational thing we've been talking about, and it's almost it's everywhere in the network, is that connecting together has to be based on, in my view, on education. They educate us and we educate them. And it's in the education sphere that we're able to break down barriers, especially particularly in language, etc., which is a particular interest of mine. So I don't know if anyone's interested in this, fine. I'd be more than delighted to talk to you and share whatever I have with you. And I love to fish from you guys as well. Nice.
Of course. This is a network. This is Pass It On Network. And I see Wayne is waving a few fingers, and you might be the last speaker today.
Okay. Well, I just love the group and everything, and the whole theme around generational unity is such an important part of all of this. I run a research company, and one of the things we do is we get different segments, whether that be psychographic or generational or whatever happens to be. And the different generations are actually far more aligned than people think they are. And that we actually agree on, 95% of the things that are there, just like different political divisions can be like that. But once you kind of get down into it, people agree on far more than they disagree on. And I think we have such an incredible opportunity of inviting people in and not being the sort of the protest movement, but the invitation movement, where, hey, let's talk more, let's share ideas. Sometimes young people bring in fresh ideas. We have experience. Hey, you put the two together, we've got 1 + 1 = 5, and the opportunities there. And I wrote a song called Generational Unity, and I put the link in the thing. And we don't have time to play it right now, but I'd love for people to hear it. But it talks about generational unity and how much we have in common and things. And if you get a chance, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, because
Thank you, Wayne.
sometimes
Definitely
music can pull people together.
When we know that, yeah, I definitely spoke about it and heard about it a lot in our sessions, and I'm sure in private life too. So definitely highlight that in the chat. And so that's it. We are pretty much done. I invite you again. Come back on August 10th, where we are hosting Rains Cohen to speak about the co-housing movement. Rains is here, and it is going to be absolutely fascinating. And I encourage all of you to come here and invite your friends, young and old, to join us. Thank you again for being here and for making this network what it is.